morning, everyone. This is Samira Murillo from Brockton Workers Alliance. We want to welcome you, all of you, and especially our candidates for being here. Today we had the opportunity to have the youth-led interview for the school committee candidates. Also, I want to recognize the presence of Ryan and Christian because they are helping us out with the questions. They help us to make the questions. And also they will be the team in all the conversation today. I will just be the interview and making sure that everything is going well. Also, Brockton Workers Alliance is committed to supporting workers in the fight for their rights, including access to fair wage, affordable housing, childcare, and reliable public transportation. Beyond that, we are deeply engaged in issues that impact the well-being of Brockton residents, whether related to the local economy, education, housing, or public health, because it is our community and we all live here. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, Brockton Workers Alliance does not endorse or support any specific political candidate. Our goal is to ensure that the community is informed, empowered, and actively votes and engaged in shaping a better Brockton for everyone.
School safety goes beyond physical safety, and it includes mental health, anti-bullying measures, and emotional support. This question is for Mr. Napier. Am I saying that right? Mr. Napier. What specific steps will you take to ensure schools are safe, welcoming, and supportive environments for all students?
So thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, the kids are our #1 priority in everything from the day they're born. So Brockton has 16,000 kids in the school program. So let's talk about safety first. So if you just wrap our heads around that, that's a lot. That's amazing. So our priority is to make sure all those 16,000 kids feel welcome to school, they feel safe. And so first of all, it's working with all first responders around the city, understanding what the protocols are, how do they respond, how quickly they respond to everything. So we're talking about from the fire department to the police department, ambulance, anything. So we have to provide that well in advance. So I know the high school has policemen. I think they're half-staffed right now. I think the ratio is probably 1 policeman for every 1,000. That's supposedly the recommendation. I don't even think we have 10. So in the entire city. So I think we have to address those needs. I know sometimes it's a budget issue. So what do we do with our budget and how do we direct those funds to the proper things? So we also have to have an orientation process. So part of the orientation process is that before families even enter first grade, enter middle school, enter something, there's an orientation that the parents and the families understand where their kids are going, how their kids are treated, how they would respond to these safety measures. They're also part of the orientation to make them feel welcome. That's part of your question. So I worked in admissions. I worked in higher education when I was in college. I worked for Philadelphia University through the admissions program. And then I also worked as an assistant to director of international students. So not only is our local communities, but those that are coming in, how do we make them feel welcome? How do we help them during the orientation period? How do they climatize to the environment that they're working in? So, and then from a safety standpoint, before you guys were born, in 2001, I was part of the the safety measure programs when 9/11 happened. So because of 9/11 and across the country, there wasn't enough safety, police, everything's response. So what companies started doing, they started bringing in employees. So for Harvard University, I was one of the safety sponsors. So you go to the proper training. We can have that extended program in Brockton, where we can, parents that are working from home or local businesses or people that go beyond our safety measures, provide the proper training for them, allow them to train and understand how do you respond to certain cases, how do we make the kids, so it's all about safety, it's all about making kids feel welcomed, families, parents, that they can go to work knowing that their kids are well taken care of. So there's a lot of measures we can put in place for that. So I would definitely work way beyond the scope of what we have right now. Broad and go outside, think outside of the box, incorporate them, but our first responders, every family should have it in writing exactly how our first responders respond to every school, every single school in every ward, and make sure that, and we run the test programs, and we do all the drills to ensure and make them feel safe and welcome in this environment. So that's what I would recommend to our school.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to also, this is a real important question, you know, because of the safeness of the kids, and I went a little bit in depth on it because, you know, I had a situation when my kids was going to school on this. I believe every student deserve to attend the school, but not only academically enriching, but safe, welcoming, and supported socially, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I believe that. To ensure, I would take a multi-level approach, and I'm going to tell you these multi-levels approach that I would take on it. Mental health and emotional support. I personally would try to, along with my colleagues, would try to advocate for increasing number of school counselors, social workers, adjustment counselors across the district. That's a big, what we need to make sure we do at Brockton High. You know, students are facing more emotional and mental health challenges than they ever before. They have professionals that can trust. They need professionals that they can trust and talk to. A lot of students don't feel like they can trust professionals or even sometimes their mom and dad. They, you know, you have to try very hard. And I will also push for oncoming mental health education and awareness initiatives so that students and staff can recognize signs of distress and seek help early before it, you know, just progress and get over. Also, the safe and inclusion of school climate. I think every student, regardless of their race, their gender, identity, disability, immigration status, or family background, should feel that they belong there no matter what. I also would support anti-bulletin policy, the DEI, which is Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion Initiative, and restore justice practice that focus on building community and addressing conflict in constructive ways. Also, trauma that's informed our practice. I will promote trauma, including training all educators and staff so they are equipped to support the students who experience stress at home and in their community and the surrounding area. This includes students dealing with poverty, family instability, violence, or other difficult circumstances. Physical safety in an environment, it's a well-tamed, you know, you should well-tamed and physically be safe. Advocate to continue investment in the school maintenance, the safety protocol, and update the facilities. And, you know, those type of things that we really should, and students should also voice and have a leadership. You know, I think that they should be a part of every conversation, no matter what. They should conversate. They should support the creation of the Students Advisory Group to ensure young students have a say in policy and practice them, you know, directly. They should be like I say, I'm strictly a fan of hands-on. And that is my biggest focus on this question, you know, every student on this category. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. De Vega?
Yeah, so I do a lot of talking. I reach out to my community, and there's a distrust, right? So if I don't trust you, I'm not gonna allow you access to my child. Because I'm afraid of what can happen. And parents are afraid. They don't feel involved. They feel disconnected. And so we have to address that issue. Because you have to, that door needs to be opened so services can come in. So I believe that that is huge in this community, especially when we have different backgrounds, okay? So I support policies that align with the principles that currently address the mental health, emotional health that the school is currently providing. But we have to make it stronger. And we have to have a proactive system instead of a punitive system when it comes to providing mental health. And the school needs to understand that, you know, you have to respect other people's culture. And you can educate people, you can educate the parents after and offer them opportunity, but you have to build that trust. You have to get in the door. And I think that's huge, and we have to address it because it does create a barrier to education. So I support all initiatives that include anti-bullying, discrimination. You know, I stand for access for all students. It doesn't matter who they are, what they're about, their beliefs, education for all students across the board. I'm running because I want every single student to succeed.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Stanton? Mr.
Thank you.
Stanton?
I've watched it for years now, and we need to be more, like you said, proactive. We have been so reactive with most things, not only safety, there have been plenty of other things that it's a very reactive committee. Something happens, and then we take care of it. No, we need to be talking to the students, see what the issues are on the ground. They're on the ground. The teachers are on the ground. You know, we only know as a parent, we only know what we're hearing. And, you know, when they want to call in the National Guard, the sky is falling. What the heck is going on? That's not the answer. We have the answer. It's the community. But we have to come together and talk. Communication, communication, communication. Every parent signs, you know, and the kids sign the handbook, the rules and regulations, the policies every year. Does anybody read them? Probably not. And we need to, you know, the phones have, luckily they started with the Yonder bags last year. So that's a start. But kids are still getting phones in there, not gonna lie to you. You know, the things are still happening. We're not hearing about them as much, and that's a good thing, I think. But we need to be more we need to put proactive policies in place to ensure that all kids feel safe. Mental health issues, all that stuff. There are agencies out there that want to help and have kind of been blocked. I know Mr. Vega said the new subcommittee coming up. It's great, but it's taken 6 months. And it hasn't met, I don't believe, right? So what are we doing? That's reactive. It's shiny. It's great. It's like the Munis for the budget. The Munis, you know, you can go online and look at. It's a shiny little tool that makes everybody feel like, oh, all right, they're taking care of our money. It's not. It's garbage. I won't say it's garbage. There was a lot of work done on it, but it's a shiny little tool to make us feel better. Should it really make us feel better? No. When you really dig into it.
Thank you so much.
Can I just add, I think
sure.
everyone's missing the point. I hear a lot of the talking points that everyone wants to hear, but I think what they're missing is, what are they afraid of? What is the safety issue the kids are afraid of? It's not the teachers, right? I'm pretty sure it's the other kids. And so what you've done is, because of the restrictions you put on teachers and that you put on the administration inside these schools, kids think that they can get away with whatever they can get away with. They can smoke marijuana in the classes, which happens all the time. They can smoke marijuana inside the bathrooms all the time. Bathrooms are locked. The only way they're unlocked is if there's a teacher there. We've institutionalized our kids to the point where we're not teaching them how to be productive members of society. We're teaching them how to go to jail. We're teaching them how to become criminals, because now they have to hide and get a second phone because they want to videotape themselves doing TikToks. Now they have to come into the school through metal detectors. They have to come into the school, and their safety isn't based on the building falling down. It's based on, we don't have the things in place right now to make sure the kids are safe. We don't have the ability to say, hey, Mr. Johnson, you're the teacher, the hall teacher right now. if a fight breaks out, what do? Do you know what teachers do? They don't do anything, because if they touch a kid, they're fired, and they lose all of their pension, they lose all of their benefits. So if you want to look at how we make things safe, there's 3 steps. The first step is either you increase the school police to 22, okay, either you do that or you put them into the Brockton Police, and then you add the resource officers back into the schools. Each school has a resource officer. Then you don't have to worry about the superintendent who doesn't want to deal with the police. Now you have the police chief dealing with the police, okay? That's one. The second thing is we have safety officers inside. It's a low-paying job, and not to put these guys down, it's a hard job, I'm sure, but they don't want to go hands-on. They don't want to stop fights because, A, a lot of them are small, and it looks like they get along with the kids better than the teachers do, right? So we need better inside help. They don't need to be wearing the orange vests or jackets or whatever they were wearing last year. They need to be more like counselors. They need to be more like people that are sitting there and saying, hey, you look like you're having a bad day. Do you want to talk? Or, hey, you know, just say, hey, I care about what's going on with you. Because that's what matters to kids. You know, prevent the fights before they start. You get rid of the phones and you make sure they don't have phones. Because when the kid gets caught with the phone, it's supposed to be an automatic suspension. But no, the kid goes right back to the classroom right after. So the safety is more of what the administration and the teachers are able to do, and less of these platitudes and these talking points that everyone wants to use, because they don't work. They don't work at all, and you gotta get into those schools and talk to the teachers. I can talk to the kids all day long. Half the things they say I can't understand because they talk in these weird languages like cap or whatever it is that they say, or Riz or all that stuff, right? No idea, whatever. But the point is, you know, you get the teachers to tell you, hey, I just need to be supported to stop, you know, Johnny from beating up Jim, and all I want to do is help them. So maybe we teach the teachers how to do takedowns or what have you, but you got to be able to have the security. These guys have to be able to walk through the halls and not be worried about somebody hitting them upside the head.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Pino.
I'd say I respectfully disagree
Vega,
with
sorry.
Mr. Pena. My kid uses work like Riz and Cap. My kid also goes to Cornell. Graduated from DHS. I think, you know, the idea that we're institutionalizing our students, for me, is outlandish. To institutionalize our students, it would mean that our teachers bought into the idea that our students were nothing. And I've spent time with our teachers. Our teachers are under-resourced, are challenged by safety things, no doubt. But the idea that our teachers are participating willingly in the institutionalization of our students is ridiculous.
That is not what I said.
The comment I believe I heard was that we are institutionalizing our students and preparing them for prison.
Yeah, I believe the administration, without a doubt, is institutionalizing our kids, yes.
I would, again, respectfully disagree. I think the challenge that we have is structural, right? And so what we have right now is an understaffed and under-resourced school police. What we have is a city in Brockton that's, after Boston, the only city to have its own school police department. Other cities use a model including SRO, officers that are dedicated to schools, but those come out of the school police. I've been the only school committee member to publicly say, alongside the superintendent, that a school committee should not be in the police business. None of us have any background in law enforcement, right? A superintendent should not be in the law enforcement business. But yet in Brockton, structurally, we have a situation where we are somehow hiring and resourcing school police officers when nobody's qualified to do that. And we have a capable police department, also under-resourced. So what I've said out loud is that we need to consolidate the school police and city police, with school police moving to city police, following the same model that's been adopted by many schools of our size, or districts of our size, and bring to, and take the resource and the knowledge that exists within the Brockton Police Department and bring it to safety issues at our schools. All right, so it's not a talking point. It's just structural, examining the structures that exist and recognizing where they're not working and addressing them. Now that takes funding. Like I said, it's not just the school police that are underfunded, but it's also the city police. Okay, I'm one of the 5 school committee members who voted to increase the salaries of our school police officers because we were bleeding them. Like, they were coming to us and then moving to other places because the pay was so low. We took a beating publicly on that decision. I stand by it. It's not the solution, but what it does is it gives us a little elbow room and space to begin the laborious process of bringing school police into city police. It involves unions, it involves the city council. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and I keep hearing, Jorge, it's so many moving parts, and I'm the only one to publicly say, but it starts with us, the school committee. We've got to make the recommendation. I have yet to get that buy-in from other members, and I'll say this publicly. It's part of the reason why I'm welcoming new blood. I'm excited to partner with some new folks who are going to be willing to step forward and say there are structural changes that need to happen. We should not have our own police force.
And I would like to piggyback off Jorge. I agree. No student, first of all, they got to feel like they're welcome, warm welcome, and walking into the school. Again, I have to do what Matt says about the National Guard. What kid want to walk into the school and see green fatigues? You know, that's going to make the matter worse. You think it's fights and stuff every day, it's going to get worse. Then it's going to also drop because a kid not going to want to come to school. Why would I want to come to school if I know I'm greeted by the National Guard? That's just not going to happen. And I feel like the hall teachers, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought they hired some hall monitors. So some of them need to understand that you have to communicate with the kids there, because if not, you know, it's just going to be a whole lot, right? You're never going to get any solution in that hall. And I think more parents should get involved. It's nothing wrong to go and get a Corey and go up and volunteer your time. You have to be Corey, you know, before you can go there. But when my kids was going to school, I was always at the school to see what was going on, to be involved. And more people got involved. They're talking about the kids. I always was saying charity start at home and spread abroad. You first got to teach them at home, and then a lot of them wouldn't know how to act when they come to school. That's my opinion. It's a whole big problem in kids coming in, bullying kids, all of this nonsense. You come to school to learn. Some kids come to hang out, and you need to weed out that policy for letting kids be able to come to school till they're 20 years old. When you're 20 years old, you need to be out working, having a job. I'm sorry on that. That's just I don't agree with. And I think it should be a lot of changes. I think they should try, like Jorge say, to get some funding. Take fundings. No, we're not going to work for free. That's why I accept the fact of some volunteer moms. They could come in. That would make more, you know, light on the kids, where we like a staff. Mm-hmm. Staff is very important to keep anything. And another problem is you got to make sure that you have the trained staff. Anybody can go in and pretend that they watching kids and not paying attention to nothing that be done. So I think Brockton a great city. I think Brockton High a great school, but I think it need to be some changes that need to be made there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Can I just add
Yeah,
to that
sure.
quickly? So yeah, I agree. I mean, the question is very broad in terms of we started on safety. What is the physical challenges, the emotional challenges, mentally, socially? We'll be here all day, you know. So because it touches every area, but it's all intertwined, because that's the upbringing, that's the growth of a person, all right? So we started off with safety, but the social aspect is also really important, though. Socially, what can we do? What can we provide for these kids, you know? I come from the sporting world. So from a sports standpoint, you know, Brockton is known as a city of champions, but we don't provide anything for the kids from a very young age that is socially structured and geared if they're interested in football, basketball, from a sports standpoint, or the fine arts, music. Do we provide those services to them, you know, and help them along the way? And that brings a form of discipline. Because if you want to be involved, be part of a team or anything, you learn discipline, back to the other points that they made. And so kids can learn it, right? So I recommended it to the high school committee. I wrote to the high school committee. There's the school committee before. I've written to the mayor's office to bring in, because I had students and student athletes in my programs that were college eligible. that they were Division I material players. The school did not provide any academic advisor that could work with students and help them along. So in college or in other areas, and in our clubs, we have advisors that actually help kids along. They're student athletes, we get them into colleges, we get them up into showcases. And so when I reached out to the schools and I said we need to have somebody in place that works with our student athletes across the board, they didn't provide those services. And a lot of our kids, our student athletes, their ticket to college, their education, their scholarships, they're very talented, but they don't have the guidance. So we have Massasoit right here, we have Stone Hill right here, and we have Bridgewater right here. Not our entire school system has no relationship with them in terms of athletic, bringing them into the school program, having them set up tables where they can introduce themselves to our students, encourage them. They don't offer that. They're not doing that on a consistent basis. Maybe the coach will reach out. So socially, in whatever area our kids are involved in, not only in sports, but across, we can bring those people and we can invite them. We can have a career option available at the school. Just tables set up and start introducing kids. So, and that changes everything. But I think it's a minority of kids in the school that are causing the problems. It's not the majority. It's a very small, and we know a little group can throw everything off. We have to get that under control. I agree. I know we're tied by state laws where, as Stephen pointed out, you can't put your hands on kids, you can't do certain things. So you limit our teachers and all the stuff to get these things under control. So it is an issue that we have to be addressed. It's not going to be swept aside. And then, all the other issues, physically, mentally, we could be here all day. But I think the school committee, and that will be where I would come in very strongly, is to put the principles in place. We are lacking, it doesn't take money. We gotta bring in, we use teachers, we use where kids can actually have guidance counselors that actually are guidance counselors. We have coaches in our sports programs at the school that are teachers. They're not qualified to teach kids. It's like having a music teacher that doesn't know how to play an instrument, okay? We got coaches in the school that are not qualified to be coaches. And they're trying to teach these kids, and they're trying to teach you how to play a sport that they've never played. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Because we want to offer it to certain people. So there's a lot of stuff that's been done at the schools level that needs to be changed. And so I would come in and put the places in place, the professional people in place, to recommend them so that will help the students. So you can look to them, you can look up to them. There'll be people that you can meet, and they will teach you the right way, implement the right disciplines, prepare you for the stuff that lays ahead of you in whatever field you want to be in. So that's what I would encourage from a social standpoint.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much to all of you.